Welcome to uh, VO Journey Academy Live. My name is Anthony. That's
Gabby, we've got some gremlins today. We're having
Gabby. I think after we had a week of AI, that AI
the
is mad at
machines
us.
are mad.
They do not like us. They're going to start blackmailing us, like I told you
Wow.
about that thing I heard about. Well, anyways, it is great to see you guys.
Huh?
What happened? We were on, and then it was saying again, like, I don't know. Maybe I need to reach out to Riverside because we've had a couple of issues with their, just it says something's wrong.
I bet
Um,
you. I honestly check and make sure your browser doesn't need an update because I'm
that
sure
could
mine
maybe
does.
that's it. It
Yeah.
does say new Chrome available on my
And
browser.
there you go, sir.
Interesting.
Always listen to the Chrome.
You're so smart. Good thing. Yeah, I need to update that. Maybe that's what's going on. Well, hello everybody. If you are new or just coming to us, make sure you say hello in the chat. Tell us where you're from, what you're going on in today's Open Forum Friday.
Yeah, bring us your questions. We're gonna talk a little bit about the goings on at Avio's Journey Academy and some of the exciting things that we have coming up for you. And
Mm-hmm.
while we're
Mm-hmm.
doing that, formulate your questions. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can ask us anything you want. Yeah, we're here to answer. So really excited about that.
Unless it's a science question,
Good morning.
because outside of geology, I'm pretty shit. So
What?
just saying. Uh,
I guess you had it.
making
Yeah.
that clear right
You're
now.
like,
So,
what's my purpose in life?
yeah,
I work
no,
on that.
no
Um,
philosophy, no philosophicals today.
Hello, Strange Storms. Good to have you. So I think that I started VO Journey Academy many years ago to, help voice actors start and grow their voiceover business. And, we do, the idea behind it, I think, was to really offer live training, real personalized work where you see us every week,
Hmm.
get the things that you need, have a really good community. And, we've been doing this for years. And,
Hmm.
and sometimes I don't think I share enough about what we're actually doing in the academy, just know. So we've got some really exciting stuff coming on. So we do 2 semesters a year. And we're coming up on the next semester, starts in July, and we're adding some really cool classes to our curriculum. Just so everybody knows too, Gabby had she teaches now at the academy, and she's phenomenal. I think she's a favorite at the academy, and she's absolutely wonderful. And we love having her. So I think right there. That's a bonus. What are
Well,
you teaching? You're teaching some
eh,
cool stuff coming up this.
yeah, I mean, so okay, so I have a Monday night class that we're about to restructure starting in July. So it's going to be an alternating sequence week to week, and I'm going to be teaching both auditioning and session techniques.
Hmm.
And then we're going to alternate that with my favorite topic in all of voiceover, which is branding, because I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
So, talking about branding and basically, the vehicle for your marketing, the packaging, right?
Hmm.
What's it all going to entail and look like, and the message, and that's the stuff that I just get giddy for.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
then we also have Kat Siggers, who's
Hmm.
our other instructor. She's lovely. She's
Oh
our
yes.
resident European, our Brit. And
Yes.
she's teaching the acting classes primarily, and we're going to be
Hmm.
adding an acting 301 to the curriculum, which I think is super exciting.
Yes,
Um,
we've been asked for that for a while, and I
yeah,
know we have a lot of alumni who've asked for that and stuff too. So it's really exciting.
the academy has been around long enough that Anthony, I think you've done this phenomenal job of seeing right this great place for beginners and those who are coming into this industry kind of clueless, right?
Hmm.
Coming
Hmm.
in from just a place of no knowledge whatsoever, helping them to build a platform, and then getting them to a place where, okay, they've built that platform. Now they're ready to implement it. These
Oh
folks
yeah.
are actually going out there, they're finding work, they're getting voiceover jobs, right? And now many of them are at a place of saying, okay, what's next? And
Hmm.
that's where 301 is really going to step up and help them to
Yes.
I think
Yes.
personally the biggest benefit to that is right starting to command better rates. And
Yes. Yes.
making more money in this industry, which is
Yes.
great. And I'm also really excited because you're adding a tech class.
Yes, so that's something that I am very, very excited about. One thing that I know, hands down, all of us, no matter what genre we play in, no matter what we do, the tech of voiceover, we have to know it, we have to learn it.
Ever
Um,
evolving.
right, and so we're adding a tech class that we're going to be doing live classes on helping you with everything that you need to know and learn, and recording your software and editing and mastering and
I have a
um
question for you too on this. So are you just one of those people who just is very tech savvy in general, and that's how you picked up as because you've surpassed me on some of the tech stuff. And I mean, I've been doing this a long damn time. Now, granted, I don't have I always say, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to learn it. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a point where I just go, it works and I don't want to know anymore. I don't really want to know the behind the scenes.
sure.
But
So,
you, oh
well,
man.
in all fairness, I did, so so maybe if people don't know, I was in the theater. That's what I grew up in. That's what
Hmm.
I have my degrees
Yeah.
in, and I was a live stage actor, and then of course I went into directing, producing, and tech. And towards the latter part of all part of my career, I've always done live tech, and sound has always been a
Did you do
mass
live sound?
yeah, it's always been
Oh,
a massive part of what I do because it in the theater, right? It's all live.
I'm so
So
jealous.
yes. So in that sense, I've always had kind of tech and enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the equipment. I've always enjoyed the intricacies of sound craziness. So
Can I tell you something really funny?
what's that?
I love, summertime. I go to a lot of concerts, right? My favorite place to be is next to the live sound. It's next to the sound guys. I like not only because it's always a nice little cubby at a concert where like
Uh-huh.
there's not a lot of activity, there tends to be like a little bit of a wide but I love to just be like, "Oh, you're running an audition, huh? Okay. Yeah. What else you got there?" And I will
I
just like
love it.
stare at the tech guys because I love what they do. I mean, I
Oh,
gotta
it's so neat. And yes, so I did that for quite a while, and transitioning over to recorded sound, it is different. Don't get me wrong, it is different, because there is, when you're on a stage, when you're on a concert, when you're doing these things, a play, it's not controlled like we can control it. We
Mhm.
really can control our space. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
miniature space. Also, voices. What's interesting about microphones, especially in live theater, is not when you buy in bulk and stuff and live stuff, you typically don't buy different types of microphones. You might buy all of a one type of lavalier type of microphone, and everyone's voice, as we all know, does not match very well all the time with one microphone. So
Mhm.
a lot of challenges you have in live theater and production is trying to mix each individual voice for those microphones, and some
So
people
cool.
don't need a darn thing, and
No,
everyone else, you lose your hair trying to get it right. So it's
listen,
really
I
interesting, so that's a kind of cool thing about us, because and why
yeah.
we're certain, because think about it, if it was one mic fit all, we all just have one mic, but it doesn't. Your voice matches differently with different mics.
I'm so glad I asked that question because honestly, like I knew you had the tech bug, but I
Hmm.
didn't know about that background. That makes so much more sense now about
Yeah.
why, yeah, you're so good with the tech.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I got into this, into voiceover, that was, I started doing audiobooks first, and it was funny because I love producing and creating things. So I was still directing at the time, and I realized I could do all sorts of stuff. So I started creating our announcements, and I started doing all this stuff. So I would do the voiceovers, but I would do shows. So I would do a voiceover about it, and I did this one where it was cell phones. So I did this whole production, and when everybody's sitting down, it'd be like, welcome to the show, and
Yeah.
then you'd hear a phone ring, and then he's like, yeah, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing with your phone? I did this whole thing. I had sound effects there. I I started really loving it. People laughed. There was like a whole production before the production started, you
It
know?
is like the "Let's all go to the movies."
Right,
Yes,
right.
the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I just had so I start early on. I started having really fun and enjoying all of I was doing all sorts of stuff. Like I'd get my shoes, put the microphone down because I had a hardwood floor at the time, and I'd like tap my shoes like I was walking and making all my sound effects. I
Oh,
had a
you
lot
did
of
your own Foley.
I I had a lot of fun early on. So, anyways, but as time has progressed, I mean, kind of one of the best things happened to me was is I tried to get my first demo made,
Mm,
and I went to someone. It wasn't you, sadly, because I don't think I knew you at the time. But I went to someone else, a very high profile person, and they had sent me back telling me how much it was and that I wasn't ready for a demo, right? And I
mm,
needed to get some coaching first, which was great advice. But the cost and them telling me that I wasn't ready for a demo and it was going to take me a while
mhm,
pushed me, because I'm impatient, down a path of, well, I'm going to do it myself.
mhm.
And from there, I just went on this, big kind of quest to continuously teach myself and work. And then I did work with a couple of engineers just to learn the ropes on some of the software and things
Yeah.
to learn. And then from there, I started producing all my own stuff. And then other people were coming to me. So I started producing more people's stuff. And just one thing led to another and then all the books and audiobooks. And now the Academy
Wow.
Voices, I do all the engineering for all Academy Voices for our hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that's kind of what it led me here, but it's interesting, I don't really go out and say I'm a tech guy in any of my stuff, but
But
I
you are.
do all the tech. I know, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Now that
yeah.
you say it like that, I don't say that.
Well,
Um,
Anthony, I'm glad I'm here to help, help you realize that you have to promote yourself better. I don't know. I think
yes,
that's an
yes.
important part of your journey. So,
That is,
anyway,
that is.
okay. So
Okay.
real quick, Academy Voices, what's the current book number? What have we published so far?
So for Academy Voices, we are at 316 audiobooks.
Holy shite. And
Yeah.
that's in how long has it been?
So
When did it
we
launch?
started September of last year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So not even a
So,
full year, 316 titles. And I can attest to this. I have one book. I have one book in the system, right? Because we almost did it as like an experiment.
mhm.
Like it was kind of a fun thing because everybody was like, Gabby, what I'll never forget Kat going, Gabby, what do you mean you've never done an audiobook?
Oh my
What are you
god, she
talking
sounds just
about?
like that was really
Yeah.
good.
She just like was like, how is that possible? And I'm like, well, so right, so I didn't I read The Call of Cthulhu
Oh
and
my gosh, it is so good, Gabby.
oh,
Your
thank you. But
performance is so awesome.
here's the
We need to
fun
put
part.
that link up so people can.
I
I
can
love it. You
attest
did so
to,
amazing.
right, it's one book. I'm getting royalties. I'm getting
Mhm.
residuals off of it. I get a quarterly payment
Mhm.
from Academy Voices.
Yeah.
You know, that's wild. So yeah. So okay. So we've got, voice actors auditioning for projects, making money, publishing books.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome sauce. Um, yeah. And now, oh, and we have questions. Okay, we're
Yes.
yeah.
We got questions.
We'll
All right.
shut it. We'll
So
stop talking about ourselves now,
yes, it's
right
not
now.
time out. We had to say something. But please, yeah. So please ask away any of your questions. We've got something with Strange Storm. All right, if I want to write and narrate samples on my own site or YouTube channel, how can I do so without giving up my rights to it? And is it okay if I use work from public domain? Okay.
So that's two questions. So let's break it
Yes.
down. First question. Ooh, that
How can I
yeah.
do so without giving up my rights to it?
So the biggest thing is I think you have to make sure that all of the work is tagged and um it's publicly posted on the production that it is an original piece. It is, credit yourself basically as writer, producer, voice actor, all the things, and then make sure it says that no unauthorized usage or reproduction is allowed without your sole permission. And I believe that that will cover you by and I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on this, but I'm fairly certain that that will cover your intellectual property and your rights. Now, Uh, what do you think?
Yeah, I think um in the terms of YouTube, right? Whenever you produce something, okay, YouTube automatically, if it's created by you, and you'll see this on TikTok as
Mm,
well, they automatically kind of slap a it's copyright protected for you. Other people are not allowed to take it and start trying to make money with it.
yeah,
Okay, so they do that. Now, does it always, work 100% of the time? No, of course not. But it's pretty. I will admit to you though, it's pretty darn good.
it
Um,
is because
yeah.
I know, like, for my videos, so my producer, my video producer, he has a music library, right, that he is licensed to use for his video production. And there's been times where he's created a video for me, but because it's on my channel, the video has been flagged and taken down because of a copyright infringement on the
Yes.
music. And then he'll have to go in and go, oh, shoot, I forgot a setting, and basically tell them, hey, we do have the license to use this. It is
Mm-hmm.
authorized.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good about that, so I think you'd be okay.
Yes.
Now, the question about
And it's okay. And is it okay? I guess if I use work from the public domain.
hey, I'm gonna let you answer that one because you know more about public domain than I ever will.
Yes, absolutely. So when you say public domain, I'm assuming I don't know which things you're talking about, but I can say that, from anything that's in the public domain as stated, you can use to your heart's extent. You can I mean, produce it, make your own production of it, whatever you want to do, it is free game for you to do. Okay. What you need to just be aware of, though, however, is that when someone else takes something from the public domain and they create something with it, that creation, right, if it's changed in some way or something's added to it, becomes protected. It's now copywritten material, what they have created or what they've changed or the production. Like, for example, we use, like, for example, Gabby's production of The Call of Cthulhu. That The Call of Cthulhu is in the public domain,
Mm,
right, by H.P. Lovecraft. However, Gabby's performance of it is not in the public domain. Her performance of it, the production of that is copywritten. All right.
mm,
Now, but the material, the words, you could take and change and do whatever you want with it, but not her performance. So the
interesting.
creation of something new, like in this case, turning written words into a audible performance, right? That is a new production. That's something new. That's something different, and then hence it is now copywritten. Does that make
And
sense? Hopefully.
it does, and that's where a lot of fairy tales and the reason why a lot of classic literature is made over and over and over and over and over again, right? I mean, you think of how many like Alice in Wonderland is in public domain, and so you think of how many versions of it. Um, if I'm remembering correctly, and this goes back to my theater days, often the reason why, like, high schools and educational institutions, that's what they focus on is
Mhm.
productions that are in the public domain because they don't
Mhm.
have to pay for them. It's a
Right, and
good
it's
thing,
funny
like,
because it can be very costly, because but that's how, like, for example, MTI, a lot of these places who have, they're Broadway, it's the Broadway shows, but like junior Broadway and things
yeah,
like that when you're in theater, especially music theater, that's a huge, I mean, that's how basically whenever you go see something, most of that stuff, all the things that go through like MTI and some different publishers, and you have to pay a lot of money to license that work,
it
and you
is,
pay based off of tickets, that in the seats, right? And they based off how many runs you have, and you have to project this too, by the way. And they try to get you a lot of. I'm not saying shadiness goes on, but like if you have a 1,200 seat auditorium, but you're in a high school and only 200 people are going to come, They want to know how many seats you have, and you're like, I don't tell you how many seats I have because I'm not going to fill that. They're going to charge you based off of. So, but anyway, that's a total
But
side
no,
note.
but it's a good
But
point. Like I
yeah.
remember as as a kid, I remember being in theater productions, and man, it was like not only
Mhm.
did we have to pay, right, as kids, like a theater camp kind of thing, but then you also had to like sell tickets, and
Mhm.
and people didn't understand why is this so
Mhm.
expensive? Because there's royalties, peoples.
Well, exactly
Yeah.
right, exactly right. And I know some authors who are quite close to me, good friends that have been for years, and they, playwrights, and they that's how they make a living. They write plays,
Yeah.
and the royalty checks, right, from people doing stuff. So sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. It's always, I mean, it's like I mean, it's like any of our stuff. So that's a very important thing. So like I'm always, it's always important to see the other side of
Yes.
which is what we talk about a lot of times, right? To see the other side of trying to scape out on doing, paying for things or stuff like that, because there's always someone else who's depending on that for their livelihood. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So, just real quick, Strange Storm. The second part is, can you use books
yeah.
in the public domain to read from?
Yeah.
Yes, of course you can. Absolutely. You know what I mean? You absolutely can. Yes. Just so you know, I mean, that's part of what we do at Academy Voices. That's one aspect. We do public domain audiobooks. And we also have a YouTube channel that which makes us unique too, because we've monetized that YouTube channel, and a lot of our earnings, I mean, a lot of them come from YouTube as well as Audible. We just got in our Audible
Mm.
results that we increased by 50% from last quarter over quarter. So that was amazing revenue.
Holy
So like,
moly.
yeah, so that's really, so audio and audiobooks and audio in general has grown. So because of that, we've had an influx of new authors and people wanting to work with us. So that's been a real blast, and
Amazing.
it's pretty crazy how that thing is growing. By the way, if you want to be a part of that, you can just go to academyvoices.com. That's a neat thing. But you get access to that for free being a part of VO Journey Academy, which is a
And
really unique thing, which is why I set it up originally, because I wanted to
mhm.
help students not just teach them, but help them get work and get paid.
And how much is it to
Well,
so
it's only $9 a month to be there
right,
on Academy
$9 a month
Voices.
to be there, and then if you're in Academy Voices, it's free. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Any other questions, you guys? That's all you got for us? That was a good
no,
question.
it's
Well, there's
Friday.
11 of you, at least one of them here. So
It's
you have any
Friday.
other questions for us? Anything? We are coming to the end of Friday.
I think next week, we spent most of this week talking about AI
Yes.
scaring people. That's always
Yes,
fun.
yes, yes, yes.
So, let's talk about scams next week.
Mm.
Let's talk about voiceover scams. I have some
Yes.
fun stories. Holy Moses. Over the years I have seen some wild stuff. And I've always been a big believer that on the scam side of thing, you just have to know what to look out for, like
Mm-hmm.
anything else, right? And if you have this knowledge in advance, you will avoid a lot of wasted time and a lot of potential heartache, because honestly, most of the voiceover scams, they're not very sophisticated,
Mm-mm.
and it's not like there's a lot of money to lose per se, but it's just your time, and that's valuable.
Yes.
So,
No, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. You have a wonderful Friday. Make sure again you check out VO's Journey. It's a VO'sJourney.com. Check us out. We'd love to
Mhm.
have you. Have a good weekend, everybody. All right, we're gonna try to stop this now and see if it stops and there's not an error sign. All right, so here we're gonna give it a try. All right. Is